All right, guys, so we got to talk about this absolutely insane story out of Texas, featuring some insane footage as well that I will be showing you guys in this video that involves this father who is speaking out against allowing children to surgically and chemically transition before the age of 18. Okay, now this father, his name is Jeffrey Younger, and he is actually running for a Texas House seat as a Republican. Now, this guy has started to speak out on this topic because he has personal experience with this. He has two twins in which he recently lost a year-long custody battle involving his twins, one of whom the mother is trying to transition into a transgender girl. Okay, now this father is upset because basically he lost custody of his child, and his child is being allowed to transition. He's accusing the doctor of misdiagnosing his child and planning to put his child, his son, on chemical transitioning drugs, right? He's also accused the school district that his son goes to of basically teaching his child to be a girl, okay, and helping to facilitate the transition. Okay, so I want you guys to understand, this father, Jeffrey Younger, is in a father's worst nightmare, right? I don't think a father can imagine a worse situation than what this guy is in. Okay, when you've lost your child to a custody battle, okay, again, shows you how messed up the court system is in terms of discrimination against men. But not just that, the fact that because you don't have custody of the kids, you have limited say in what is happening to one of your sons who is being transitioned to be a girl. Okay. Again, this guy is living in a nightmare scenario for a father, right? So that has motivated him essentially to speak out and to run for office, right? He thinks the Republicans have not done a good enough job in Texas of just outright banning this stuff, as Texas is one of the nation's largest providers for gender reassignment surgeries and chemical hormone treatments to children, okay, according to him. So fast forward to today, the University of North Texas Young Conservatives invited Mr. Younger to speak at one of their events in order to talk about his experience. And it should be no surprise to us that the so-called tolerant left wasn't all that tolerant of what this guy had to say. So we're going to talk about it today. But before we get into this, I just want to let you guys know, if you like my channel, you like my commentary, you want to support my channel, my commentary, you can do so using the links in the descriptions below. You can support the Patreon, you can support the PayPal, you can support the merch. There are multiple ways to support the channel if you would like to do so, including getting yourself one of my signature racist mugs, which is a daily reminder of the 2022 definition of racist according to the left, which is anybody who disagrees with the Democrat Party. So with that being said, I want to make sure I give credit to Mr. Andy No for this footage and for this story. Again, that guy does some excellent work. So I just want to make sure that, you know, I understand that I got this story from him and some of the footage from him as well, too, that he put on his Twitter. And let's go ahead and roll one of the clips of this guy, Mr. Younger, trying to give his talk at the Young Conservatives event at the University of North Texas in Denton, and the tolerant left's not so tolerant response. Take a look.
I'm in a college and I use the word. I'm so sorry. Jennifer Conte, who's a pediatrician, is loving us.
You can't do that with my friends. No, you can go away. You can go away. Yes, thank you.
No, he can go anywhere he wants.
No, he cannot. No, for my friends, I say no, get out. Go away.
Arms length. Everybody's at arm's length. Please.
I'm more than arms.
Don't you dare! Don't you record my friends.
She did grab my camera.
He.
I got it, man.
He's fascist! He's fascist! He's fascist!
All right, guys, so you've seen that, you heard that, right? That is that father basically trying to speak at this campus event, and the dude's just literally not being allowed to speak. He can't speak his mind, say what he has to say, okay, without being heckled and silenced by woke activists who, I really don't understand this, and this is something I'll get into later in the video, but they're upset because this father's saying, hey, I don't think it's right to chemically or surgically transition children before they're of the age of 18, before they can actually consent. This is what these people are getting upset about. This is what drives them insane, okay? And the insanity apparently was even worse outside of the event.
You're a pathetic loser! Every single person here is a pathetic loser! Loser!
You're so upset. You're upset.
You're here trying to protect kids! Are you reading a script? Yeah, are you reading a script? You're reading a script, you can't even. Oh my god, look at. Oh, changing the profile. It's a paper on the ground, officer.
I understand, but there is the free speech portion of it with it. So, yeah,
You guys are all losers!
Protect trans kids. 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 Protect trans kids.
Wow, that is absolutely insane, right? It truly is insane, okay? Because I don't understand for the life of me, how can you be so passionate about this issue if you're on the side of protecting trans kids, right? Because I don't understand, how can you be so sure that it is right to surgically or chemically transition a child, okay, who legally cannot consent? They don't understand the ramifications, the long-term impact of that decision, okay? Something that a vast majority of these kids will probably grow out of. How in the world can you fight and be so emotional about an issue like this? I really don't understand. An issue in which, in my opinion, the common sense and safe position is that, hey, you know what? Let's just make kids wait until they're 18, okay? That way, at the very least, they have some form of understanding about what it actually means to transition. Like, what does it mean to potentially cut off a part of your body or to put hormones in your body that are not supposed to be there, right? I think that that's the reasonable position. I think the unreasonable position is basically trying to force kids to go through something that they don't necessarily fully understand, right? Like, how can a 9-year-old grasp the concept of, hey, we're about to cut off a part of your body and inject drugs in your body and hormones in your body that don't belong in your body, or at least to unnatural levels in your body, okay? I really don't understand. I really don't understand. I don't get it. And these are the people that think they're on the right side of history. And I'm like, no, you're not on the right side of history. You're not. You're going to be the reason why a lot of these kids go through permanent procedures that they're going to live to regret later on in life. And then they're not going to be able to change it and revert back. And that's going to lead to unintended consequences, instead of just, again, making them wait until they can fully understand the ramifications of that decision, okay? So now let's talk about the other aspect of this. Another reason why these people are, again, not on the right side of history. They have the nerve to call this father a fascist, right? F these fascists. When these are the people that are actively trying to stifle free speech on campus, right? You essentially say, no, you should not be able to speak. Your ideas should not be heard by anybody because we don't agree with you. We classify your position as hateful, not because it's actually hateful. It's because anything we disagree with is hateful, right? According to the woke left. Therefore, you shouldn't be able to speak. And we're going to come to your event and to make sure that your ideas are not heard, okay? We're going to speak so loudly. We're going to make so much noise that people simply will not be able to hear you. And this is exactly what I'm talking about when I talk about how free speech is under attack. Because a lot of people on the left are saying, well, your free speech is not under attack. The government's not locking you up for your free speech. And I'm like, no, that's not what we're talking about here. What I'm talking about when we talk about free speech under attack is your right to be heard. That's a part of free speech. Because if you don't have a right to be heard, then you don't have free speech. That's a part of free speech. You're speaking so that you can be heard. You're not just speaking just to speak. You're speaking so you can be heard. This guy's right to be heard and for his ideas to be a part of the discussion, right, is being attacked. Okay? That's what's happening. I don't think there's anything hateful about what the guy is saying. He's simply saying, listen, I don't think children should be allowed to go through this stuff before they understand exactly what they're going through, the consequences of what they're going through. There's nothing hateful about that. That actually comes from a position of love and saying, hey, I want to make sure kids know exactly what they're getting into. I don't want to force something on them that they're probably going to live to regret, because kids are kids. They don't have any real grasp of how this stuff works and what this stuff means. So why force it on them? Why allow them to do something that can have permanent consequences that they don't even understand? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And him simply saying that, according to the woke left, is hateful. And I'm telling you guys, I am sick and tired. I'm so sick and tired of the left doing this. I'm so sick and tired of them using this same old tired, pathetic tactic to silence other people's free speech when they say that, well, he's saying things that are hateful. He's saying things that hurt my feelings. We can't allow hate speech. When what they're saying is not hateful. It doesn't come from a place of hate. It is simply that, hey, we classify anything that we disagree with to be hateful. We classify anything that we disagree with to be racist. Okay? And they use that. They use that victimhood mindset to garner tears from those people who are neutral on this to say, well, you know, we really can't speak out against the fact that these people are trying to take away other people's free speech because, you know, they feel like what these other people are saying is hateful, right? That's what it is. It's a silly tactic that plays on people's emotions to try to justify actions that are not justifiable. Allowing somebody to speak out on campus because they have a different opinion of you is not hateful. And I'm sick and tired of them doing that. And I'm sick and tired of people capitulating to them because they say that, because they hide behind this victimhood status. It's super frustrating. In this university, North Texas University, they need to suspend these students. They need to suspend these students. That's exactly what they need to do. When you're out here trying to stifle other people's ability to speak on campus, you should be suspended. Okay? I'm so serious. You have a right to protest. That's fine. If you want to protest outside the building, that's cool. But once you go inside that building and that person is slated to speak there, they've done everything that they should do in order to get that room, right? To have an official event on campus, and you have people in that event that are simply not allowing that person to speak, they should be suspended. I'm still serious about that. Because I'm sick and tired of seeing conservatives not being allowed to speak on these campuses. Academia has become a brainwashing institution for far left progressive ideology. That's what it's become. It is an echo chamber. It's already enough that all the academics are far leftists, but it's even worse when you don't even allow guest speakers who are on the other side of the aisle to even come on campus to share some different ideas. You're basically ensuring that anybody that goes to university basically becomes a far left liberal. That's what you're ensuring, because that's all they hear. Now, the reality is that these people right here that are protesting, that are making all this noise, they're a minority, but they are a loud minority. They're so loud that, again, they have the ability to stop people from freely speaking on campus. And these universities, I'm telling you, they need to stop capitulating to these people. Right? Once you start suspending these people for doing this stuff, at that point, a lesson will be sent. Free speech on college campus is important. And I think it's time for conservatives to start fighting back and saying, hey, look, we need to demand that our legislators, our lawmakers, make some changes here. Where it's like, no, we got to punish these universities who are not punishing these students who are actively trying to take away other people's free speech, not allow different opinions to be heard on campus. Maybe we start taking away some of this taxpayer funding. Maybe we start thinking about how to basically hit these universities in the pocketbooks. Maybe they will actually start to allow free speech and take actions against these students who are doing this. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.